What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel, and today we are going to be going over my brand new Bonafide XTR130. Let's dive in.
I live inside my own world of make-believe.
All right, y'all. So as you guys can see, we have a brand new Kayak, which means we did get rid of the Titan X 12.5. And I regret it a little because I will miss that Kayak. The stability on it was awesome. It was a really great fishing Kayak. Overall, one of the best kayaks around. But I'm going to tell you why this Kayak fits my needs a lot better. We'll walk through it, tell you what I like, what I don't like about my initial thoughts on the Kayak. So let's get started, y'all. So the first thing I really love about this Kayak is it's huge. It is just as big, just a little bit bigger because of the width of this Kayak versus my Titan X. And I have a comparison of the two next to each other. I'll show you guys a little clip from that. But I mean, they're very similar size-wise. But what I love so much about this Kayak versus my Titan X is the front part of this, the standing platform, the hatch, just more room, more space in this Kayak. Very open platform like a bass boat. But, and people call this a boat, they want to call it a Kayak, whatever you want to call it. It is a fishing vessel, we'll just say. So that being said, I just love the open deck, the fact that you could stand on this. Now, that is going to be a task for me being a little over 300 pounds. I don't know how this will do so well with me standing on top of it. So we're going to try to find out. We'll see how that happens. But the main thing I really love first off is this front deck, how open and big it is. And then you have this wide open floor space here, which it's just a very open Kayak. I really love that, and that's one of the biggest things I liked versus being in the Titan X. You had some space, but with the drive in there, as well as other stuff in the back, and you just were kind of confined versus this is a lot more open. Okay, now we're just gonna go ahead and go through a quick little rundown of the Kayak. I'm just gonna, switch over to the cam, show you guys all the features on this. Just a quick rundown from bow to stern. Started from the bow, you have this set up here, a little like mounting platform for your XI3 or your just trolling motor here in the front. And then you have these power plates, which I absolutely love these. These are awesome. I still have two of them that I replaced from my Titan X that I plan on just switching so I don't have to do any work on this. It'll just be like plug and play for me basically. So that's really nice. I really enjoy having these power plates. The next thing is, so you got these little scupper drain holes in the front, so water comes over the bow, it can go ahead and drain out the side of these holes instead of pulling up here in the front, which I really, really like. And then you have these two mounts here. You could either put graphs, you can put, a camera, whatever you want. It'll set up for those little Yak Attack mounts, so really nice. Next thing, proud that this is made in the USA. Okay, so let's go ahead and pop this hatch open, which by the way, this XTR logo that is kind of like branded into this foam is really nice. But pop this baby open, and I just have a little piece of cardboard. I'm kind of making a template right now for the computer plate. The one Bonafide has just too much, but as you guys can see kind of in here, it's hard to see with no light, but there's like a nice wall backing here. Right back here, we're gonna go ahead and put our computer plate so we can put our GLS 10 back in there for our live scope, and as well as our fuse for the trolling motor, and then our Yak Power setup. And then it's going into the body. You have your platform deck here, which I really love. I love how there's track space on both sides, so you can put a captain's bridge, as well as you can go ahead and pop this baby open. And then there's plenty of space in here, which you could easily fit, 100 amp hour or more battery under here. You have your power plate to go ahead and run stuff in through so you don't have to drill any holes. I did see one Objective made like a organizer that I may get for this, that you can kind of divide it up, put soft plastics, put your battery, put different, things in here. So that's really nice. So one of the things I forgot to mention in my review was you have these inserts right here. And one of the biggest things about this kayak is you could actually put a seat up front here. So you would actually take this hatch off and this would open up and you would literally just have this front deck up here. I'm not really going to be using it as big of a guy as I am, but maybe down the road, maybe I will go ahead and take this off and we'll go ahead and like run this as a tandem kayak. So we also got for this, which I'm pretty excited about, is they make a little plate. I forget what it's called, but it's a little plate that mounts to the bottom of this, and it has like a cup holder. You can, you know, put some of your accessories like, you know, pliers, scissors, and then you can hang some of your baits off of it. So we got that. So that's going to be one of the first things we put on this kayak. You have the basic, you know, footrest, but these can be converted, I believe, into steering if you want to. I have the bow mount motor, so I won't be really putting that on there, but I really love how wide open this deck is. It is really, really nice. And I plan on just leaving these scuppers open, which I couldn't do in my Titan X. So that's really nice. Then you have two power plates. You got one on this side, one on this side. You got the track here. And then in the back, you have this little Bonafide plate you can go ahead and run power through. And then you have paddle holders on each side. For the transducer, just gonna put it in back here and then run it up in here. I really didn't want to put any holes back in here, but if I have to, I have to. But realistically, I don't want to do that. I'd rather try to find out some way to run it up here and then just put it into this little Bonafide box right here. So we're gonna work on that. We're gonna think of some ideas of what we can do. So they have these rod holders in the back that came with them, one on each side. I really like this. I think it's pretty awesome. I think you could probably fit about 3 to 4 rods in here. I'll probably keep one side on to go ahead and run some rods when I go under a bridge or something of that nature. So it's really good. These look like they're gonna be really stable on here. Just have one rod in here. You got my little rod sleeves I just picked up, you know, USA baby. But these things are nice. I really like the build of these. This like neoprene material is really nice. And one of the big things for me with a rod holder is, or with a rod sleeve, is getting the hooks stuck in it is just such a pain. So I just decided to drop some money, get some of these. Plus they float, so if these fall off the kayak, I can retrieve them back. So it's really nice. But going down here, I believe this is a 7'4" rod. So this fits in there nice, and I still have a little bit of room. So let's see how far this sits back. So sits back here. I mean, if you have, you know, say a rod that's a little like a 7'11" or close to 8 foot, I'm sure it would accommodate back in this little well back here that they kind of designed out for it, and just fits right nice and snug in there. So I really like this feature a lot. Let's get to talking about my initial thoughts on each thing. Kind of did a run through, talked a little bit about my thoughts on some of it, but let's really dive into stuff that I like and dislike about this kayak to start out with. Okay, so there's a perfectly good reason why I left this seat out of when I did the quick little walkthrough, because the seat is one of the things I kind of really want to talk about a lot. Good and bad on my initial thoughts. So I really like this seat. I mean, it was the same exact one I had in my Titan X, which it is a really nice seat. This Millennium seat is great. Have no complaints. I could fish a long day, have no issues with it. But where my big complaint is with this is that this track right here is not easy to get this off. And so what I'm gonna do is kind of show you guys loosening this up. You have to make sure to loosen these like all the way, so that way you can kind of lift up on it and slide it. And that's where, you know, it makes it a little harder. Other thing is, it does a number on your track as well as on the plastic that's here from this sliding back and forth. I've already noticed, like from when I got it versus to just playing with it a few times, it's kind of scuffed it up, which it's not a big deal. It's going to be wear and tear on this kayak regardless. It's not going to be perfect forever, but I will say there is some flaws to the seat moving back and forth, which with this seat down, You know, you have a lot of space under here. They added space for a tray, but for the price that you're paying for it, you should have got the tray with it. Should have got a couple things that they have as features that, you know, like the power, the computer plate, stuff like that, they really should have put in with the Kayak. Not a horrible thing. I understand it's a business and, you know, you need to make money. I just think for the value of the Kayak, they should have added that with it, but not a big deal. So you guys aren't going to be looking at my face. I know, I'm sure you guys are probably really sad about not having to look at my face. Just kidding. But so with this track, with this on here, my ideal spot with my black pack in the back is going to be right here. Now, I know that they built this probably to be extremely strong and stuff, but for me, I don't like having a decent amount of this point where it screws in to be under this little metal track with having this hole here. Now, I know they designed this hole to put the sidekick in, but I just don't like having a lot of the weight and pressure on just this track right here. So I'm hoping that's not going to be an issue. Maybe people down the line are going to say, you know, it's perfectly fine. You know, I haven't heard anything from Bonafide. I'm pretty sure that they demoed a lot of these or showed a lot of these with the, you know, back end of this seat sitting on this just track part. So not a huge thing, but for me, it's just a thought in my head that it could be a issue. Okay, so one of the things I really liked about this Kayak was, and I mentioned it before, is the floor space on this thing. I think it's really nice. It's wide open for you. I believe the Kayak goes from about 40 inches in the front to 38 or 39 in the back, which is great. It stays wide across the whole platform. And then with the floor, the channels, it's a positive and a negative for me because I feel like these channels are going to be bothersome for me standing, but we'll see. I haven't really taken it out yet, so either way, I absolutely love how open this deck is, and I really do like the fact of the draining. One of my issues with my Titan X was because I'm about 300 pounds and the weight capacity was like 500, I could easily keep my Kayak above water, had no issues. When I didn't have it loaded, I was able to have it with the scuppers out with no water in it. Now, once I put my black pack on, I put my XI3, put everything on there, we were kind of hitting that over the limit of performance, which I did not like. And that's a huge reason why I got this, because your boy's big. I've mentioned this before. Huge dude. Boy loves cheeseburgers too. So my height and my weight kind of put me in a situation where I really needed to get something with a little bit more of a capacity. And I believe this is around 700 pounds capacity for performance, which is awesome. Right here, they created like a cutout in the design for putting your paddle. So you could paddle this thing if you needed to. I don't plan on really doing that much, I hope. But they created this lower cutout so you could get your paddle kind of down a little lower for paddling. And it's nice, but I'm kind of concerned for whenever we hit some heavier weather, some bigger waves, it's going to come in here. But the great thing is all of these scuppers in here, all of these channels kind of run the water out. So don't think it's going to be that huge of a deal, but I really would like it just a little bit higher on the side. So moving on to the back here, I really like this opening here, but what I will say is with this, you have this battery spot here. Now, I think they should have just left this lip out, kind of just left this more open, put more of a flatter channel down in here versus this kind of encased spot for the battery. It's still really nice. I plan on putting like a Newport battery box that has, you know, a USB port, as well as, you know, I'm going to put a quick disconnect back here. Not sure how that'll go. I'll probably put it right here in the middle of the fin of the Bonafide logo. You have two little paddle holders back here, which is nice. And then you have your little spot here to put a, you know, Newport or a Torqeedo in the back. I don't really know how you would go ahead and put on some power poles. I guess you would mount them from the sides, but I don't really like that much. But for me, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to be going ahead and using any of those. With this space back here, let me move this a little bit. Putting a 16 by 16 black pack, it really puts you extremely close to the chair. Okay, so this would be my ideal positioning for the seat, and this is as far back as the black pack will go. Now, I can go ahead and kind of move my seat a little bit left and right, but realistically, I kind of have to move the seat forward, which this would be my ideal position to have the seat, kind of push my weight towards the back, so I can put stuff up front. I can go ahead, stand on the front and have a lot of deck space. So I really wish that I could move this back a little bit more, but once I have my battery box in here, that's kind of as far as I can go back. So I think I'm gonna have to downgrade to a 13 by 13 or a 16 by 13, which I don't think is a big deal because I don't keep a ton of stuff in here, but just wanted to mention it for you guys so you know. With a 16 by 16, you're gonna have to have the seat up. So that's all there really is to it if you want the space. So go ahead and slide this up. So that goes back to what I was saying is the seat in the back is gonna be sitting right on that track where be sitting on that empty spot where the track is just by itself, and that is for putting your side kicks on. So I don't really like that. I don't really want to keep my kayak there, so I'd have to push it even farther. So that is a little bit of an issue, but I overall love the opening of the space, having it wide open, having the options to do different things. I mean, the black pack's not that huge of a deal. Overall, this thing is a blank canvas, and I absolutely love the amount of options and amount of things I can do. It's kind of actually driving me crazy because I'm really in the process now of how I want to set this up, and there's just so many options. So that's something that I'm thinking about right now. We didn't really talk about it, but I went with the camo, and I absolutely love this camo design. It looks really good. I kind of want to get into doing some like duck hunting or even just taking this out. And I really just like the camo look. It's a little more subtle than the green. I absolutely love my green. It matched my logo. Great color. But I do wear a lot of camo, as you guys see. Got my camo hoodie on. It is actually really cold here in Central Florida today. I love how it kind of goes from like a cream to a brown and black and then fades to that really good like army olive green color to, you know, the tan and then the brown in the back. It just looks awesome, really sharp looking. I was gonna go with the steel blue, and my one negative that kind of pushed me away from the steel blue was the brown deck. I loved the brown deck. I thought it looked really good, but I started to think more about, you know, the mud, the dirt, the hydrilla that I get into, fish bleeding on the deck. That brown's gonna push a lot more through than the gray or black, and I can kind of clean the gray out a little better than I think the brown will kind of fade and kind of have some spots once I clean it. Versus the gray may just get a little lighter. I know I've heard you can purchase new panels for it, so that's something I might be interested in doing. But that being said, I just really like the camo. I think it's gonna hold the dirt better, the scratches, the imperfections of the kayak, and it looks sick. I really, really love that cream in the front, how it fades to brown. Really looks good. Really wanna get over the main features of why I love this so much, and that's the front deck. Let's go ahead and we'll switch over to the camera for you guys. So on this front deck, I love these tracks right here and here. So I'm gonna be going ahead and try to put a camera in the front so I can go ahead and film, kind of get that perspective like this of showing me on the front end of the kayak, just give another angle to this. So it really will help for my filming. I think it'll add another element that I really want. You know, for my YouTube videos and stuff. I love this front hatch. I have big plans for it. I'm gonna, like I said, put that computer plate in there, but I also wanna add some sort of additional storage, like putting some like bins or some sort of dividers in here that I can kind of keep a life jacket, some, you know, medical stuff or some other things that I wanna have in here as well. So that'll be really nice. And then this standing platform, I already mentioned I really want to get on it, see if I could stand on it, but there's so many different options if I don't stand on it to go ahead and put a captain's bridge, you know, run two fish finders on the front. Really looking forward to that. So this deck, this whole front end honestly is the main reason why I got this kayak. I just love how open it is and the unlimited possibilities of things that I could do with this platform. All right, y'all, so that's gonna do it for the walkthrough. My initial thoughts for me on this baby. I'm absolutely super stoked for 2025 at getting this baby all fitted out, ready to go, ready to do some fishing, do some tournaments, just do some content for you guys. Super excited. One of the things that I really like about this too is if I want to do something like camping or something, there's a lot of space to put stuff in here if I decided to take one of those trips. So really excited about this. It's just an awesome setup. This kayak seems so nice. It is very, very sturdy and stronger. And another thing that I will say is with my Titan, it was so heavy. And when I carry this thing, it just feels a lot lighter than my Titan X. I don't know what it is. It seems like the weight isn't, it's around the same weight, a little bit lighter than the Titan X, but I just think that they disperse the weight, or the way they kind of balance it out. It's a lot easier to carry and lighter. And I really like those like plastic, but like foam on the bottom handles that the Bonafide has on it. So excited about that. And that being said, we are going to name this kayak. We did not name the Titan X, which I think was kind of bad luck. So I'm going to go ahead and give some names in a poll. I want you guys to go ahead and vote on. If you guys have any names that you want me to add to it before I do the poll, put them down in the description of what do you think I should call this kayak or boat, whatever you want to call it, what I should name her. And just two of them that I kind of thought were really funny. My buddy Dennis with Kayak, he actually has an XTR as well as Blue, so go ahead and check out his channel. But one of the names he gave me was the Tree Bark Shark because it's camo. That's one of the things that he put in, like a name generator for it. I thought that was pretty funny. So let me know what you guys think about Tree Bark Shark. One of the names I came up with was Ramboat, like Rambo, but a boat, Ramboat. But I don't know. Just see whatever you guys think of. Just give me some names in the comments and we'll try to name this boat out before we get it out on the water. I honestly was about to get a blue one. My local dealer had the camo one, so I switched. But with the blue one, I was gonna call it Cookie Monster. And I thought that was hilarious because the boat was blue with brown paneling on it and stuff, so Cookie Monster fit. But I don't have a name for this one. So guys, give me a name, give me your thoughts on it. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. We're gonna do a build series on this and then I'll go ahead and do my review. Once I have everything set up, when I take it out on the water, we'll do some more videos for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Follow along for more content on the XTR as well as my fishing channel. Really appreciate it with the sub. And yeah, until next time, y'all, peace.